What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is Deerskin. Now, this one comes from Greenwich Entertainment, and God help me with these names, but I'm going to try. It is written and directed by Quentin Dupree, I think that's how it is, and it stars Jude Arden. He was the lead actor in The Artist, in case you were wondering here in the States, because I know he's not really well known here. But he stars as a man that is obsessed with a deerskin jacket, and so as the movie kind of progresses, he blows his life savings on other things, and he wants to make a movie, and he eventually gets more pieces to his, fashion attire to kind of go with the deerskin jacket, and he kind of turns into a life of crime. So his life is just spiraling out of control. I had no idea this movie even existed, but what's funny is I'm aware of Quentin's work. I have seen Rubber. Yes, the one about the killer tire. The fourth wall breaking, self-referential, poke fun at like slasher movies and commentate on the ridiculousness of graphic violence in them and how people love that. And it was a unique experience, but I remember watching it and I remember going, you know what? That was something I can see examining down the line. I don't know where I stand on it, but I appreciated watching it and I appreciated his kind of vision because it was unique and it stands out. And so when I see his name, I am aware of his work. And so going into Deerskin, I was like, this is going to be something like that. Is it something like that? Yeah, kind of. But I think there's a lot more going on underneath it because I will say this, I actually like this movie. It's short, sweet, and to the point. It's 77 minutes long, and it's kind of one of the downfalls, but I kind of enjoyed it. So to start with the overall direction and the writing in this, because this is on Quentin's shoulders, I think the story itself is fascinating. He takes this character that's going through a midlife crisis. He doesn't really know what to do. His wife left him. He's trying to get into his bank account and just blow his money on whatever he wants to do. He's living a new life now. He's single and kind of crazy. He's listening to his jacket talk to him. But there's something about this deerskin jacket that is alluring to him. He just wants it. It's kind of like when you see deers on the side of the road or in the wild, you're kind of just in awe because they're majestic creatures. And obviously if you make a sudden noise, they sprint away. But there's something about this jacket that just really strikes his eye. And it almost gives him a new identity. And that's something that he's looking for. That's something that he's yearning to kind of hold on to because he's losing his former self. He wants to become a new person. So this jacket is just something he's kind of clinging on to. But we know deep down there's a bunch of emotional stuff going on that's really affecting him. But we see it through this kind of like absurd manner of him just being obsessed with a jacket when we know deep down this man's not all there. So there is kind of like that funny kind of like absurd comedy that we're dealing with, but also I think, that emotional connection that we can kind of hang on to in terms of like, we get it, man. We get what you're going through. Like, we can understand what you're going through. And there's that. Then also this movie takes a right turn and we start dealing with his life of crime, so to speak, without spoiling anything, just to get into the plot that I read earlier. He gets into this life of crime, and so your mind starts wondering, going, do I feel empathetic for this guy anymore? Is that bond broken between us as an audience and him as a character? I'd say it's 50-50, because I don't know if people are going to end up liking this person towards the end, or even the ending of this film, or how they're going to perceive it. I saw it as a man losing his self, really kind of losing sense of reality and really kind of having a mental breakdown in the most extreme way possible. And there's something kind of sad about that. The way he does it, obviously, it's very graphic, in going through his crisis. And there is some kind of darkly comedic undertones happening. But I think, like I said, you could go either way. You could feel really bad for this guy, even to the final moments of the film, or you can just completely abandon ship as soon as he starts doing the things that he does. I can see it going either way. But I like the way this thing was written. It kind of showcases his talents from what I saw in Rubber, while also examining a specific character and kind of studying that character and how they think and what kind of midlife crisis they're going through. So I thought it was a really well written movie, but I do think there is a downfall to it because it is 77 minutes long. I felt like there could have been more to this because when the movie started to get going, it just ends. It ends and it gets out. So it makes its point and it goes. But I felt like this movie could have benefited from longer. Like I rarely say that, but this could have been one of those cases to where you could have fleshed out a little bit more, maybe examine, the other character that he was with, played by Adele Harem. Oh, I feel like an idiot because I should have looked it up, but she was from Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I believe. She was great. She was a great character, and getting to know her a little bit, but not know enough to where, like, when the movie ends and you kind of see like this passing of the torch type of deal, you feel like could have been more with that. We could have continued the story. Maybe you could have made this into a two-parter, kind of like with that. The end of the film be like the mid twist or something. I don't know, but could have been more. Could have been longer. I just felt like as soon as they started get going with the story, they left and they should have came back to explore a little bit more. But I still thought well written regardless. I thought the overall vision of this thing was really great. Really kind of getting this great performance out of Jude Arden that we've seen in other movies before. He's a great actor, but really being committed to this kind of zany idea, but really finding some empathy and some kind of like groundedness to this character at the same time. It's a tough act to balance, but I think Quentin getting that performance out of him was really, really delicate, and it's really kind of hard to do, but I thought he did that, and I thought you did that with Adele as well. Really making her the kind of audience point of view for this story, the more likable one for sure. She's got goals and she's got passions and stuff, and really just kind of guided these two characters. Yes, in a crazy story, but I think a lot more underneath it. So great direction and writing overall. I mentioned the performances; they're all really well done. Jean is a really commanding type of actor. Once he's on screen, you cannot take your eyes off of him. We saw that in The Artist, where a film that is all silent until like the last moments of the film. It takes a lot for an actor to command that screen presence and draw you in, and that's hard to do. And so I knew that going in, he was just going to be a tour de force. And it's definitely a more reserved role for sure than I've seen in all of his other American films. But I'm glad he's got this one on his resume. Adele was really nice to watch as well. They just had a really great chemistry going back and forth. And all the other supporting actors felt like characters from like an Edgar Wright movie, where like they were kind of goofy and oblivious, but there was something kind of charming to them. I kind of enjoyed that. So all those supporting actors were great. Yeah. And I mentioned the 77-minute runtime. It's a very, very short movie, which is a downfall and a good thing because, doesn't waste any time, but it could have expanded it a little bit more because it got really interesting. And I guess the last couple things, the score is really, it's a nice accompaniment to the scenes. It's quirky, it's weird, and kind of goes along with the story itself. And then the cinematography is clean. It has like this like kind of clean gray look to it, but it still showcases the beauty of the location that they're at. I kind of noticed that with Rubber as well. He highlighted a lot of saturated colors with like the desert and everything. This is more kind of laid back, more kind of a calmer, bluer gray approach to it. So it definitely has its own identity on a visual front, and I liked it. But yeah, it's a weird movie, but I needed that in my life right now. I needed some like weirdness to like kind of wake my life up with all the craziness that's going on. But I'll give Deerskin a B-, and that minus is strictly because it was definitely cut too short with its story. So let me know what you thought of Deerskin down below, whether you loved it, you hated it. And yeah, let me know all that. I read all the comments. And so be civil down there. But I will, even if you want to call me out, I'll still be nice to you. But that will do it for this review, guys. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video so you can get up-to-dates on whenever I review any type of film. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMoviescreenings.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.